That was a great explainer. Back home now, residents living inside a Brisbane apartment building have raised concerns they may have crossed paths with staff and guests relocating from the Grand Chancellor, who may have been exposed to the highly contagious UK strain of coronavirus. Queensland Health insists the transfer of guests to the Western Hotel was perfectly safe, but some residents say they had no idea what was happening until they saw ambulances and police at their doorstep. One of those residents, Adam Leishman, joins us now from outside the Western Hotel in Brisbane. Adam, thank you for your time. Can you explain to us what unfolded yesterday, what you saw happening outside your apartment?
Yeah, look, as we left the building, we were confronted with a very different circumstance to what we've been experienced during the COVID period here. It's been a quarantine hotel here for some 9 months, but when they transferred these from the Grand Chancellor, it was via ambulances into the valet area, and they were crossing over from the valet area into the western front door, and our exit and entry is directly cross paths with that. So it was a very different experience as we were confronted with police, ambulances and Western hotel staff.
So do you have concerns that you may be sharing spaces or facilities with these people from the Grand Chancellor? Is that what makes this different to other hotel quarantine guests?
Yeah, look, absolutely. The Queensland Government or Queensland Health are that concerned by what's happening at the Grand Chancellor that they've moved it to another hotel. Moving it to another hotel that shares access points with a residence component, it just doesn't make sense to me at all. To even put it in a hotel that also has residents doesn't make sense. I would imagine that this is probably the only hotel in Brisbane that has a residential component to it as well. So to pick this one is perplexing.
Tell us exactly what the setup is there, and the fact that we don't know still exactly how this was transmitted through the 7th floor of the Grand Chancellor, I mean, that must raise big concerns for you.
Oh, look, absolutely. I mean, they're still investigating what happened at the Grand Chancellor, and then they've moved the problem to my building where I live with, another, I think, probably in excess of 100 residents live above the hotel here, and we share a common access point. We share the driveway. Western staff also, in addition to their hotel rooms, have 2 rooms in the residence they look after. So occasionally in our lifts are Western staff. So it's certainly concerning given that they don't know what happened at the last hotel, but now it's in this hotel.
I just want to read to you, Adam, if I can, the statement from Western Hotels, who say at no stage throughout the guest transfers did any paramedics leave the patient transport vehicle. The residential building manager was notified immediately by the hotel. Does that ease your concerns at all?
That's pretty impressive PR spin. They're taking the focus off what was actually transported by saying there was no paramedic leaving the ambulance. That's fine. What did leave the ambulance was the quarantined guest or traveller. So they've missed that point there. In terms of a residential building manager, I've been here since the building opened 2 years ago, never heard of it. There is a building manager that looks after the whole of the building, maintenance, operational issues. They look after the whole of the building, including the Western. So I guess the Western has effectively told their own building manager they're going to use the driveway, which again is a shared driveway. So that does not allay any concerns at all. Yeah,
look, given the question marks over this strain of the virus and how it has spread through the Grand Chancellor, your concerns are, of course, understandable. Adam, we appreciate your time this morning. Thank you for joining us. And we did reach out to Queensland Health for a statement. They said the transfer of Grand Chancellor guests to the Western Hotel was perfectly safe and mirrored the guidelines used for active Covid-19 patients. There is no risk to the general public. All right, straight ahead this morning, the shock twist in the tale of a